Thank you for joining us for our 10th virtual tasting, everybody. Cheers. Hope you all enjoyed tonight's review of the Prairie Rotie, our red Rhone blend from Becker Vineyards. And we've got just a few questions tonight, so let's get to them. Our first question tonight comes from Trish Fullerton. Trish asks, is your Petite Syrah or Syrah actually Durif? First thing I want to explain to everybody is the difference between Petite Syrah and Durif. Durif is the French name for Petite Syrah. They are virtually the same grape. There is still some discussion if they're completely the same. Here in the United States, about 90% of what was planted as Petite Syrah was actually from a Durif parent clone. Our Petite Syrah comes from that same clonal body, Trish, so you could call ours Durif, but we commonly call it Petite Syrah. As far as Syrah goes, wholly different parentage, wholly different grape, so it is not related to Durif at all. Next question comes from Carol Fish. Carol asks, how is your blending done? What are the differences in each red wine and blend? Well, you just asked for a PhD dissertation on how to run a winery, Carol, so let me see if I can shorten that down. There's a lot that goes into blending. A lot of it from the surface can look like fun, like we're just sitting around tasting wines. I will not lie, sometimes that's exactly what we do. However, like the Prairie Rotie, the blend that went into that, we started with about 15 different components, be it Barbera, Petite Syrah, Syrah, Grenache, Cinsault, all the Rhone blends, as well as some non-Rhone varietals like Merlot, Cabernet. And we would try different components, and then I'll go back and try them at different percentages. Sometimes you can hit a home run right away. Sometimes you're lucky if you hit a line drive the first time out. But there's a lot of work that goes into it for this Petite Syrah. It took us about 2 months of experimenting to come up with the final blend. As far as the rest of the red wines, even our 100% Cabernets, we still blend with Cabernet made in a different barrel or made with a different yeast. That gives us a different color on the palate, if you will, on how to paint that wine blend. I hope that helps. Cheers. Our next question comes from Jamie Wilson. Jamie asks, what other red Rhone blends do you make? Well, Jamie, currently we don't have other red Rhones. We do some single varietal Rhones like our Cinsault, our Carignan, and our Counois. Those are what we lovingly refer to as the 3 Cs. Those are individual Rhone varietals at the winery. And then of course the Prairie Rotie is a blend of Rhone varietals and a couple non-Rhones. We are working on the next vintage of the Prairie Rotie, which will more than likely be almost all Rhones or 100% Rhone. We haven't quite decided yet, but we're working on those. We also have a couple of white Rhones. We have the Prairie Cuvée, which is a blended white of Roussanne and Marsanne, and then we also have our Viognier, which is a straight white Rhone varietal. So if you're into Rhones, give us a call. We'd be happy to ship them to you. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and I hope these questions that I answered get you a little further down the road on enjoying your glass of wine. If not, the best solution is just open another bottle, pour a glass of wine, and sit down, and I'm sure inspiration will follow in suit. And don't forget to join us on this coming Wednesday for our Chardonnay tasting. So cheers.